everyone. Welcome back to Heartland Mamas. I'm Murray Briel.
And I'm Heidi Henry, coming to you from our studio in Marseilles, Illinois, from the edge of the Great Red Divide. And today, Murray, we're going to talk about Ousting 8.
We are beginning our series of eight vulnerable senators that you can help get rid of this November.
Right.
Before we start, I do want to say, please watch us on Demcast, demcastusa.com. You can also catch us at Heartland Mamas.
MAMAS.com.
Wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. So let's dive right into our number one senator that Heidi and I have an issue with, and that is
Susan Collins of Maine.
Oh, delightful Susan Collins of Maine. Mm-hmm. So before we get into why she is so incredibly repugnant,
horrible,
and we strip her of her mama card, we're going to go ahead and tell you just a little bit about Maine.
What would you like to know about Maine?
I want to know about the senator who was before her.
Well, everybody always thinks that Susan Collins is Olympia Snowe, and she is no Olympia Snowe. Olympia Snowe was a very moderate Republican, almost a little left. She was always working across the aisle. She always tried to do things to better not only Maine, but the entire country. She never thought of just herself.
She was a good Republican?
Yes, that was
that was before now.
Newt Gingrich and the block voting. So, Susan Collins, you've never been Olympia Snowe. You will never be Olympia Snowe. People should stop confusing you with Olympia Snowe.
So get it through your head. Susan Collins is no Olympia Snowe.
Ever.
We can see her voting record has been, pretty much in the middle up until 2017. And when 2017 came in, her voting record started to swing drastically right. One of the most controversial issues is that she is a pro-choice Republican. She's very clear on that. Planned Parenthood supports her. Yet
supported her in the past.
Yeah, supported her.
Not this time.
She took a vote to allow Judge Brett Kavanaugh to become a Supreme Court justice when it was proven through his writings, through his words, through his statements at the trial that he would not protect Roe v. Wade. So that was a huge outcry of many women. She'd claimed to be this champion of women and then allow someone like Brett. I only had 2 beers ever, but I blacked out from those 2 beers.
But I love beer.
Remember how
I like beer.
But I can't remember how I sexually assaulted all those women. Him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Brett Kavanaugh, who I am certain, as time goes on, we're going to discover more and more women he assaulted, and I hope one day he's impeached from the Supreme Court.
But that can only happen if we have a Democratic Senate. So, as we talk about Susan Collins, let's talk about the crucialness of flipping the Senate as well.
So, in the Senate, Murray, we need to pick up 4 seats to be able to bring the Senate back under Democratic control and to change the Speaker of the House. The dreaded Mitch McConnell, the horrible turtle of Kentucky, has to go because Mitch McConnell is an obstructionist. He has deep ties to Russia. He has business interests that have enriched him as a senator in a manner that is unholy.
And that brings us to Susan Collins again. So there's lots of reports out there. I'm sure you have seen her name because of her controversial Kavanaugh vote. Every time there's a controversial vote that comes up, the media gets all excited and thinks,
what will Susan Collins
is going
do?
To save
Susan
us.
Collins will do nothing.
Susan Collins will vote with Donald John Trump 100%.
Yeah, every single time. She is lockstep with the Republican Party, which is now voting as a parliament rather than as a democracy. So that means that their party locksteps, and I'm going to go further, they goose step everybody in line.
And here's an interesting point. Typically, you expect to see media sources that are conservative boasting and pushing out false information or writing articles slanted toward Republicans.
Right.
The same thing goes on the left for, the more liberal folks.
Right.
Susan Collins is in a very interesting position because the media constantly goes to her as being a voice of reason, as a center. So article from The Guardian, from The Atlantic, from ProPublica, AP, all talk, they all have articles about her current fundraising numbers. And the titles and the articles themselves all make it seem like she's out raising the Democratic challengers. And now she does have a larger war chest, but in actuality, Sarah Gideon, who is the former state House Speaker for Maine,
running for Senate,
running for Senate. She has outraised her over the last 2 quarters.
Yes.
By over $1.2 million this last quarter, ending in December 31st of 2019.
Well, Marie, Maine went to ranked choice voting, kind of like the city of Chicago does. So they have a primary, and the top contenders are the ones that run in their primary. So in ranked choice voting with 4 Democratic challengers, five, it's very possible that Susan Collins will not even make it to her own primary.
So there are 5 running, but officially no one is on the ballot yet because they do not have to. The last date to file their petitions is March 16th of 2020.
Yeah.
So of those 5, several could fall off. And considering the fact that Sarah Gideon has raised $3.3 million last quarter, it will be hard for any of those challengers to get enough momentum to take her on.
I just hope that the state of Maine is kind enough to the rest of the United States to make sure that Susan Collins isn't on her own primary ballot.
So most recently, our darling Susan Collins, there's an odd coincidence here, and we're digging into it further. Please, we are not making a statement saying that this is valid or not.
Oh, you're not making a statement that she's being rewarded for her votes?
I am not making a declarative statement that she is being rewarded for her votes. However, it is very suspect that on November 26th of 2019, an organization founded themselves, registered in Hawaii as a PAC, and that organization is called
something women.
Yes, I'm sorry. I want to make sure that I got this right, folks. Oh, here it is. It is the Society of Young Women Scientists and Engineers, LLC. So this organization was founded November 26th of 2019, and Susan Collins received a $150,000 donation from this PAC. It was a shell PAC because no individual donors then had to give their information based on this.
Dark
so the New York
money.
Times has done some digging and reporting, and they have found that there is no office, no physical building for where this exists.
Are we surprised, Murray?
No.
No.
There's no physical building. There's no board of directors. There's no trace back to who supports this PAC or what
phone
the PAC
number.
is. No phone number. So here's the delightful part about that. Several watchdog groups filed a report with the FEC, which is the Federal Election Commission.
And this is where it gets really sad.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit about what the Federal Election Commission is.
Yeah.
The Federal Election Commission is a board of 6 members that investigates, enforces election law, particularly the finance aspect. They are only responsible for deciding what needs to be investigated, judging what was illegal, what was legal.
Right.
It's a member of 6. They can have no more than 3 Republicans, and they have to have 3 Democrats as well on it. In 2017, the first member stepped down and resigned, which left them with a 5 out of 6 quorum.
Yeah.
So they were able to investigate and continue their business.
Right.
In 18, it dropped to a 4-6 quorum. And in 19, the final member dropped out. So there are 3 Republicans sitting on the FEC who cannot investigate anything, who cannot decide anything. So one of those roles has been open for 3 years. One of those roles has been open for 2 years, and one of those roles has been open for 6 months.
Whose responsibility is it, Murray, to appoint people to the FEC?
Well, the President of the United States decides who gets appointed
and
to
do you
the
think
FEC.
he has a vested interest in not rounding out this board? Do you think he has a vested interest in making sure that none of these campaign donations can be investigated?
Well, that just seems like some sort of crazy idea there, Heidi. You mean to tell me that the president might not want to have 4 people on that board. He's going to stick to only 3 with all the judges he's appointed. He's not going to find 3 people.
No, he's not. He's not. He doesn't.
Or could it be because they have to be Democrats?
Well, he could appoint somebody like Tulsi Gabbard.
Holy shitballs. No, thank you. Oh, my goodness, I swore.
I'm going to vote present. Tulsi Gabbard, you're ridiculous.
Tulsi Present Gabbard.
Yeah.
She reminds me of another state senator that I know that's present voter.
Here in Illinois.
Yeah. We won't talk about that yet.
Meow.
Anyway, so what
Meow.
this means is that the organization, the government body responsible for investigating dark money, illegal contributions, false statements, Duncan Hunter getting investigated and losing his seat because they found him guilty, right? Mm-hmm. That was started and the quorum found the investigation before the 4th person dropped off. Now there is no one there. Even if the 3 wanted to investigate, they can't.
They can't. No quorum.
So guess what? If you're running for office and you have to file with the FEC, carte blanche, bitches!
And that goes for you too, Democrats.
You don't have to worry about filing. You can save yourself a couple $1,000s a month in.
But as former candidates, both of us we had to
campaign
hire.
finance.
Yeah, we had to hire accountants to handle our money and to make our
people who knew how to do the reporting. And there's different levels of reporting.
So many laws, and you can go to prison for screwing it up.
And guess what?
Now you can't.
It's free.
Yay.
Okay, so I'm sorry. We made that sound really exciting and fun, but it's absolutely terrifying
Horrifying.
and horrific.
Horrifying.
So Susan doesn't even get investigated because there aren't even 4 people on the panel to find out why this shell corporation gave her $150,000. I don't know.
November.
Well, no, they were founded in November. They gave her the money in January before the impeachment
Just
vote.
before the impeachment
We're not
vote.
implying
We're not
anything.
implying anything. Not at all.
Nope, we just wanted to tell you that's some information.
But if
out there.
Captain Obvious comes by, he might.
And let you make your own decisions and lead you to the water, should you drink or not, is all up to you. So not only does she take horrible votes, and not only is she undependable as being an outside
and take
or
money
an
from
adult in the room,
anybody.
but we are going to go on a mama rant here.
Go, Murray, go! Rant.
She said,
yeah,
to a Fox News.
Oh, not to Fox.
To a Fox reporter. She said, how do you feel the impeachment, or you voted, why did you vote to? And she said, well, I think he learned his lesson. The reporter was, how? How did he learn his lesson? Now, keep in mind, this is a Fox reporter saying this. Like, how? How did he learn it?
What lesson did he learn?
Well, impeachment is that's not a good thing. That's a serious thing. So he's been impeached, which, I think he learned his lesson.
This is me throwing money at Susan Collins.
First off, Susan Collins does have children. Second off,
does she care? Her children, she's in the 1%.
She's a mama.
Does she care?
She has had
She
her
does not
mama
care.
card pulled.
Revoked. Revoked.
You are the reason we have entitled bullshit white privileged little asswipes running around because of how, if you did that with your kids and you do it with your grandkids, we are doomed.
Right.
Because any mother in the world who saw that behavior,
right,
would be PO'd and not say that they'd learned their lesson. That's like if my kid steals the car and he crashes it and it costs me a ton of money, and then my kid's like, I'm like, oh, but I think he learned his lesson. If my kid stole my car, he didn't learn his lesson by crashing it. He learned his lesson if he has nothing left, if he has to rebuild the car with his own damn hands, if he has to raise money for every part. That's when he learns his lesson. What family in their right frickin' mind, what parent do you know that would say after a child, even an adult child, does something so horrible, would say that you don't deserve some sort of punishment?
Now, you shouldn't have pushed Grandma down the stairs, and now that she's dead, I'm sure you learned your lesson.
You won't get your $25 birthday card anymore. You learned your lesson, huh? No! So that is my Mama Card pull on Susan Collins.
And I hope you all admire all the voices that Brie can do.
Heidi loves my voices. She thinks they're hilarious.
They are. She can go from 0 to 16 voices in one episode. So and keep them all straight. I can't do that. So I have this voice. That's Speech.
So here's why she is vulnerable, because she has very poor polling. She is also vulnerable because of the votes that she has taken and her sycophant ideology toward Donald John Trump.
Her popularity has bottomed out in Maine.
Her fundraising is dropping like you would
Well,
not
except
believe.
for dark money.
You're right. Dark money is still
money's still flowing in.
Yeah.
Don't forget, every quarter she gets from Win Red, the Republican version of Act Blue, half of it goes to Donald Trump. Which he gets to put in his pocket, his big slimy suit pockets. Sorry.
He doesn't. I don't even want to think about his pockets. Okay,
I keep thinking of skid marks, Sorry.
No, not
I can't help it. So here's what you do. Here's what you can do.
What can I do, Heidi? It's horrible. We have a madman. We have an orange madman in the White House, a petulant child who fires people. Oh, before we go into what we can do, did you know that Susan Collins and Martha McSally and Cory Gardner all approached the president and told him it would not be a good idea to get rid of Gordon Sondland? He was his choice, and Gordon Sondland was retiring anyway in a very short period of time. They felt the optics wouldn't look good, but let's fire
who the fuck cares, Marie? Optics?
I know,
really? Somebody cares?
So, yeah, right.
I mean, if you're
worried about the optics.
The Republican Party has crowned Trump King of the USA. They have crowned him. They have had a coronation for him by acquitting him. And by telling him that there's nothing you can do wrong, nothing you have to be accountable for, they have crowned him as king.
And it was a slap in the face because his ideology of Team Me Too support him unconditionally. So these vulnerable Republican senators, Gardner, McSally, and Collins, all came to him and said, this is going to hurt us. If you get rid of him too, it's going to hurt us. They didn't try to save the Vindmans. But, Sondland, they did.
Well, Sondland's a donor.
And Donald turned and went, double fingers to you. I'm not doing it on YouTube.
Yeah, but they got rid of Gordon Sondland. But
and against their wishes, so that should tell McSally, Gardner, and Collins all where they rank.
Oh, well. Donald Trump is sinking the entire Republican Party, and the Republicans are having a dance. They're like dancing on the deck. Yay, we're going down with the ship. Woohoo! We could stack the federal courts and take all the dark money we want and have deep ties to Russia, and no one is watching. There's
Turkey
no responsibility. Yeah, and Ergadon, and let's not go there because we've done that already. Listen, ladies and gentlemen.
What can we do? I don't live in Maine. How can I help?
Well, how can you help? You find these Democrats that are running, and you send them a few bucks. Send them $2. Send them $5. Send them $100 if you have it.
So in Maine, why don't you take a look at these three candidates for us?
Yeah.
Dig in. Look at Sarah Gideon. She's the former Speaker of the Maine House. She has a great reputation. Look at Brie Kidman. Look at Ross Lejeunesse. Look at Michael Banker. Look at Betsy Sweet.
So that's 5 candidates, Murray?
Take a chance. Look at them. See what if
Those
you're
are
interested.
some pretty cool names. Betsy Sweet sounds like,
The primary is not until June 16th of this year.
Right.
So you have some time. But right now is an opportunity to find, if you live out that way and you have a senator that is safe, look to putting your effort toward there. They can use postcards. You can call in from distant locations.
You can remotely.
Phone bank. Absolutely. You can
send
donate.
them money. As candidates, we know how we didn't get any dark money.
We didn't get any money.
Right. Well, it's hard to be a progressive Democrat in Illinois some days.
It's hard to be a progressive Democrat in the United States some days.
Some days, yeah. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 22 Republican senators running for re-election. 8 of them
are vulnerable.
Are very vulnerable.
Need 4 seats. If we do not flip the Senate, it doesn't matter if
Who we elect.
Buttigieg or Warren win.
Or Biden.
we will still have no control to get anything done because
No.
Mitch the bitch will continue blocking
Right.
everything.
But here's the great part. If
Mitch is up.
Mitch is vulnerable too.
He's
But
very
if we pick
vulnerable.
up 4 seats,
We don't have to worry about that.
yeah,
So
and
before you donate to your presidential candidate of choice, maybe think about donating to those state Senate
well,
candidates.
here's a really good thing, Murray, that you may not even know, that if we pick up those 4 seats, our Illinois Dick Durbin, our senator, gets to be the president of the Senate. Dick gets stuff done. And he does. Durbin gets stuff done, and he doesn't screw around with being silly and partisan. He does stuff that's for the good of the country. He does stuff not just for Illinois, but for all of you. And why Susan Collins and Mitch McConnell and Martha McSally and Joni Ernst can sit there and get in the way and
Cory
block
Gardner.
it. Cory Gardner. Block.
Corin Tillis.
Yeah. Why they can sit there and block legislation and not do anything and acquit a guilty as sin man. You have the power to change that. You
Get
have the
active
power.
and get involved. Start looking at your Senate races, which is why we're doing Oust the 8.
Yes.
We'll
and
be bringing you all of those vulnerable 8 senators and
So-
what you can do and who's challenging them.
today we unpacked Susan Collins, but look out, Joni Ernst. Look out, Cory Gardner. Look out,
John
Jen
Corwin.
Corwin. Look out, Martha McSally. Look out,
Mitch
Mitch
McConnell.
McConnell. We're even going to Kentucky.
The best part
to
is
walk
we
Kentucky.
live Illinois, and we have 2 states that have vulnerable senators that are both within driving distance that we can
We're
come
going to
down and
Kentucky. I want Mitch
help. We're
out.
doing Kentucky and Iowa.
No kidding. And then who else do we have? Tillis and Purdue.
David Perdue and George.
They've got to go. And you know what? If you want to pick up and toss Lindsey Graham out on your way, we're all for it. So
Yeah. So, guys, we really want you to be aware that, yes, it's so important to pay attention to our presidential campaign as we move into New Hampshire, South Carolina, and then Super Tuesday. But what is even more vital is once we get past Super Tuesday, turn your attention toward those state races where there are vulnerable Republican senators, because they've got $150,000 coming in all the time
From dark money.
from not even real PACs
And-
funneling their campaigns. We have to fight fire with fire, and that means more boots on the ground,
Yes.
more phone calls, right till our hands fall off, postcards, and donate whatever we can.
you have to understand that the 1% is supporting and backing the Republican Party. Working people like us are the Democratic Party. We're the people that are working in the trenches. Some of us are working 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And we don't have a lot of extra money. So find a little time, find a little energy, put in 2 hours phone banking a week. Find that time because our democracy is at stake.
Absolutely, and we can do this. We have the power.
We'll put up links to virtual phone banks, and I have a really special link to share on our Facebook page, and I'll tweet it out for a free Vote Them Out sticker that you can put on your car or your laptop.
Vote them out sticker.
And it's free from Move On. So
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in. We wanted to hit on our number 1 oust to the 8, which was Susan Collins.
Oh, number 1.
Stop believing she's in the middle. Don't
not.
watch the media. And when you see article titles, read them. Because once you read them, you see that she's not doing as well as as she's claiming to.
She's really doing poorly. So
So we hope to see you again very soon. We will be back. And thank you so much for watching.
Take care now.
Remember, Heartland Mamas.
MAMAS.com.
Bye.
Bye.